Ladies and gentlemen, the following fight is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds of amateur Muay Thai at 70 kilos. Introducing your first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, representing Dublin Combat Academy, presenting Conor Daly. Introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, representing Team Torres, presenting Oisin Daly.
Which one?
Yeah, we can see Conor with the red sock shins, and that can be good or bad.
Is there a process of regulation when it comes to the shins?
Yeah,
because you
some
have
shows, but it's a mixed bag.
Okay,
You have less protection, and some people might claim that.
So it's a trade-off.
Yeah.
Conor in the blue corner taking on Oisin, coming out of the red. Nice lead head kick being thrown nice and early from Conor.
Oisin with a nice little fake lead knee up. I like that. And we can see there with the with Oisin's stance a little bit.
It's a little wider, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more indicative of the likes of an MMA fighter.
Yeah, and we've seen a chambered lead leg turning kick as opposed to a baseball bat Muay Thai swing. So again, I think we start to see now a mixture of a few styles coming in there.
Nice catch and reply from Conor.
Good. Starting to like these fakes Conor's throwing.
And you see now Conor almost mirroring that stance of his opponent. He started off very upright, now he's mirroring with a slightly wider base.
And sometimes I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I don't know unless that's your style to mimic your opponent.
Do you think some fighters can do that almost without realizing that?
Yeah, I think very seldom. I think sometimes, I don't know yet because we don't know the outcome.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a case of trying to understand what's happening in front of you.
Okay.
So you conform to the person that possibly is perceived to dominate the match. I don't think he is dominating. But again, both guys quite confident to stand within that 2-meter tether line. And I always like seeing that. It means that you've got two guys, two fighters with a good fight IQ.
I'm liking how calm both fighters are in the pocket. A lot of time you'll see, especially with young amateurs, they're biting down on the gum shield and throwing recklessly. They're very clinical from both guys here. Yeah. Even just that hook on the break, beautiful.
I do like Oisin's high boxing guard. I like that chin tucked into that lead left shoulder.
It is sort of prototypical of Western boxing, the way he's holding the hands on the shoulders.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of slick Western boxing with Muay Thai. I think that's the way forward. Great opening round.
Very solid.
Maybe.
I think it's again. This is where the coaching of the corner, an incredibly experienced corner there. But this is where he needs to take that information on board.
Yep. So we see him throw that kick and slide back. If that's a strategy to set him up for a backhand, if he hits that kick and slides back, he needs to get more distance and travel with that lead leg hacking kick. Great score. Okay, so he's going strategic. He's going back foot, scoring and move. Score and move.
He's been popped into a corner there. Both fighters are implementing really clean lateral movement. We're not just seeing them move in straight lines here. They're landing the shots and getting off that center line.
They've obviously told Conor to kick, score, kick and move. So every time them shots go unanswered, the judges are looking to see if there's effect.
Good stiff jab from Oisin. And it's definitely, so far, a much more proactive round for Conor.
This is better. The movement is the key difference now in this round. If he keeps this up, this is where Conor could actually turn it around and he could mitigate the boxing of Oisin. But he's got to watch out for that right hand. Oisin seems to be able to throw, just as we've seen there, high volume and at angles.
That's great timing by Oisin. He's letting that kick come in, defending the kick and then replying straight away with the hands.
Again, this is a fight that we see all too often where we can see Conor strategically scoring and moving, but that's the high energy work. But the problem is Oisin's going to be dangerous till the very last second because he has that, looks like knockout energy in his hands.
Even just the way he's holding himself, those hands are high, side to side. Beautiful boxing style.
Great movement.
Nice shot to the body. Right back up. you do get the feeling that there is explosivity there with Oisin.
Yeah, both guys aren't showing signs of fatigue. If we're looking at their mechanics and breathing, they seem to be managing the pace quite well. For the movement out of Oisin, I think he needs to press now a little bit. Maybe Oisin's a little bit better at hiding fatigue than we think, because his aggression seemed to kind of dwindle a little bit in the last 20-30 seconds against Thai boxing. It's been scored under Thai boxing rules.
Of course.
But now in saying that, if the boxing has greater effect than any of the kicks by Conor, well then yeah, he will win. He's just got to throw a few kicks and knees with it, with effective boxing.
That goes back to what you were saying about that scoring criteria of that traditional Thai style. Conor again adopting that kicking heavy style. Nice outside leg kick.
Now people have won fights doing this. Distance and score. Conor at the moment is showing more Thai boxing fundamentals. It comes down to the judges if they think it's effective scoring. But Oisin is going to hand it to him if he doesn't throw at least one or two more Thai boxing techniques. He'll probably have to try knock him out. That was a nice kick though.
Working to the body. Good aggression from Oisin, but he needs to be wary of being countered. Again, I like that Conor's not just moving back in a defensive straight line. He is trying to cut his angles and present space for himself. Oh, he wobbled him a little bit. That's a beautiful disguised hook.
That was probably the most effective shot within this round.
Definitely, Mo.
Could kind of sense Conor's confidence. He's definitely becoming more confident.
I was about to say, is the momentum shifted ever so slightly in this fight?
And that's all it takes. One or two moves to kick or get out of the way, make someone miss. All of a sudden, you're a different person. The confidence of that training camp you just went through comes right out now. So I'm interested to see how Conor keeps this. Oisin needs to press. He seems to throw. He seems to do better when he catches a shot and goes forward on the counter. I'd like to see Oisin maybe use footwork and go forward a little bit more. If he misses that 1-2, come forward with a 3 and 4.
Very much in the balance here. You do get the feeling that one big shot could change the fight, but with 3 rounds, very interesting. Let's see what our judges have to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to your judges' scorecards. All 3 judges have scored the bout in favor of your winner. Fighting out of the blue corner, Conor Daly. He's holding the applause for his opponent, Oisin Daly.